Hi everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts. I'm here with my first video 2025, so Happy New Year everyone. Now I'm going to have a no spend January. Yeah, I'm not going to be buying any new craft supplies. I will obviously be using some of the ones I've already got, but for this first video I want to put together a junk journal from stuff that I've collected. Junk mail, calendars, that's just more junk mail, cat food packets. I do have some tea-dyed paper, packaging from Amazon deliveries, a piece of a daily planner, all sorts. Now, I did do a video at the beginning of last year that shows you, was it something like 66 different kinds of paper to use in a junk journal. I will link that one below rather than parrot them all off again this year. I then did say I were going to mass make 6 journals last year from what I'd already got made, and somehow they morphed into 6 Edith Eldon journals that I've still not finished. Well, I have finished one over Christmas, and I've also finished a rose journal that I've been doing off camera over Christmas, but that'll be a separate video. So they are still ongoing. Yeah, I think I got overwhelmed by the fact that I'm mass making 6 things same. So I gave up with that idea and I'm just making them one at a time. But for this year, I want a journal that I can put everything I make this year into. Well, I will keep putting things in till it's full. Then I'll have to make another journal, won't I? Depends how many things I make, doesn't it? So, yeah, I think you get the idea. I've got all sorts, book pages. Now, this box here, this is just a box that if I have anything that I think will make a good page in a journal, I fold it in half and I throw it in. There's all sorts, they're all different sizes, all different shapes. Some of them might be a little bit small, but I might want to make a small junk journal. Oh, I never knows there's one. So yeah, I think there's all sorts. That's just a piece. Is it watercolour paper? I don't know. Well, I've folded it in and forgot there's an interesting little bag. I don't know where that came from. I don't recall buying it. It could have even been in Happy Mail. So yeah, you get the plan. So normally I'll make a cover, then I'll make the journal pages, but this time I'm going to make the pages, then I'm going to make a cover. I'm liking the look of the covers that aren't quite as big as all the pages that are hanging out, so I think I'm going to go for that kind of a look. So I've just grabbed loads of random things out. They all came off top, so let's turn some of them over and grab some off bottom. Yeah, so that's a nice book page. Oh, what's that? Quince? What's quince? I don't know. Oh, I'm guessing that came from some kind of yeah, recipe book. Oh, I've got some bits of, yeah, what is that? Mulberry paper. I think that's a printed digital receipt. I do have a few on my Buy Me a Coffee. I've not put new ones on for quite a while, but if you're looking for some, there's some on there. They are free. Yeah, that's another one. So yeah, I could use those as pages. Don't know what that is. That's probably something from a previous project. That's 2 sides of something glued together. So let's just start building this journal. So I'm going to start with this page. Don't know why, it's just the first one I grabbed. I'm not going to go for many thin pages because I want to attach bits of ephemera to this journal. Let's put them that way, and then we'll pile up the ones we use in here. So I want to use that, I want to use that, and I'm not putting them together with any kind of rhyme or reason. That's another printed receipt, so I'll put that somewhere further away. I don't think I want thin flimsy pages. There'll be a lot of book pages in this because, like I say, I'm going to be clipping and gluing ephemera over the top. I do want some. We'll have one big white page there. Yeah, is that some kind of index page or some kind of, I don't know, mathematical table? That's just some lined. I don't want that in or that. I want a pretty decent chunk of some ledger paper if I've got some. Oh, I've got some of these Amazon. I was playing about with these a while ago, then I threw them in. It's do you know the packaging that comes on a roll and then they scrunch it up? I don't know what word. Squinkle, scrinkle, scrunch. There you go. Either of them will do. And yeah, I quite like the crinkliness in it, so I just straighten it out. I don't bother ironing. Once it's been straightened out for a while, it's fine. We've got a little paper bag there. What's that? That's a planner, a daily planner page. That's too big. I could fold it. No, I don't want, like I said, I don't want really small or really thin ones. That's pretty. So that will do. So I do get a lot of questions like how many pages do you put in a junk journal? What pages do you put in? I don't really think about it that much. I might even alter the order of these. Like, I like that layered look. So I've done that without even thinking. That's just how the pages have come together. So I think I'll leave those like that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 pages or pieces folded over so far. I wanted to do one more. I think I might like that under that guest check. Sometimes, you know, if I start thinking about it too much, I end up with something I don't like. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. I think I want a smaller brown piece. Yeah, I like that you open it up and then you see 2 more things. I sort of like things like that. Do you know, I don't even think I'm going to put any tea-dyed paper in this because, like I say, it's not a writing journal. It's a journal for me to clip in things that I'm going to make. Oh, that's too big. Too big. Do you know what? I think I'm going to leave it as... Oh, I like that. I'm going to leave it like that. Oh, that's nice. We'll have the Blackberry Fairy on the top. So I'm going to chuck everything else back in with the exception of this calendar because I'm thinking I want to use a piece of this calendar for the cover. I'd started cutting this up because I was going to make tags and then I thought, ooh, I just went off idea of tags. I don't know why, I just did. I've done all sorts of mass making over Christmas. Right, let me show you this. Where's it gone? Here it is. I decided to make a few book page tags. Look at that. And that's how many I made. I went a bit mad. So I will not run out of book page tags for a good long while. Yeah, they're just book pages glued together. Some I fold up and glue together. Some I just layer up, glue and then cut. These are the easiest ones. It's just one book page folded in 3. And I've used various sizes. So you'll see those in an upcoming video. Doing some decorating. I did make some, there you go, some teeny tiny ones from a dictionary. So yeah, I went a bit mad making those. But there's many videos out there on making book page tags and pockets and things. I think I've done a few. If I find them again, I'll link them. So this is my junk journal. Yeah, I put another 2 on, so I've got about 12 pages doubled over. So that will make 48 different sides. So I should be able to clip quite a few little bits of ephemera into that. Yeah. So I'm just doing simple 1 signature journals. Now, like I said, I'm thinking about using this as a cover, but I've already cut it now, haven't I? So I could still use it as a cover if I do what I said and make the kind of cover that is smaller than a lot of the pages hanging out. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna. I might make it... Shall I make it so what? No, I'm just gonna do that. So yeah, now that needs to be made a bit thicker because it comes from this yummy calendar that my daughter bought me for Christmas. And the cover would make a nice journal. Ooh. Let's maybe have a rethink. I could use the cover. If I use the cover, I don't then have to mess about gluing it to anything because it is thick enough all on its own. Let's obviously look at that. How pretty is that? That just needs sticking in a frame and putting up every Christmas, I think, doesn't it? And look at that one. That's my second favourite. That was my favourite and then I cut it up. That may still end up being tags, you know. And this, I mean, could we? No, I don't want to have a sideways cover. So I'm just going to cut this calendar cover in half and see if it's going to make a good junk journal cover. Yeah, I didn't have much of a plan for this video. I'm just winging it. Shall I do it with my craft knife? Because I don't think it'll fit in my trimmer. Or shall I just rip it? I'm just going to rip it. Rip it. There's a crease. Also, I want to be less precise this year. I want to be more junky in my journaling. There we go. So, I've lost my journal. I've lost the pages from my journal where to put them. How can you lose them on a desk this big? So, if that were my front, I would perhaps have a little bit of that bird on. I'm gonna cut that or fold it just under that bird. Yeah, I tell you, I'm being very junky this year. So that is going to be the height of my journal cover. I'm doing it again. I'm cutting birds in half. I'm slicing it. Oh dear. Get a bone folder, woman. So I'm going to bone fold that. And then I'm just going to rip it. I think also because this is a journal that I'm not going to sell or give away, I'm going to keep it myself. As sort of an ideas journal. I think I'm already feeling a little bit freer. Oh, look at that. So, we could even make it more than one signature, couldn't we? We could. We could make it more than one signature. Now, oh, we've got this grid on back. So let's... The middle is going to be halfway down there. I could crease it. Sort of there. I'm going to do it. So I could end up putting more than one signature into this journal. So if I crease that again, I'm going to use my ruler this time to help me get the crease exactly where I want it. If you're not sure what I'm doing, I'm thinking that grid is saving me from having to measure. And that is going to become the spine of my journal. So we've gone from a one signature journal now to one with a spine. How did that happen? Easily. And I do love what I've got on that cover. Oh yeah. Can I do a journal cover with a spine that thick? Yeah, so I'm going to end up having to put another couple of signatures in there, aren't I? And then I'm going to end up having to reinforce the spine. So this has become a little bit more complicated than I at first envisioned. And I'm not going to round corners because they're offensive, just so they don't get damaged, because it's not the kind of journal I'm making. So, to reinforce that, I'm going to use... I happen to have got this piece of green file folder here. So... I'm going to use a piece of that. I think I'm going to need to reinforce those creases so they don't tear. So I think I'm going to use some tape for that. Grab some tape. That'll be 2 ticks getting all these bits I've just thought of together. And I'm back. I've got this tape. I've had this one roll for years. It's a roll of brown... It's bookbinding, well not bookbinding tape, picture framing tape. You know the tape on back of picture frames, what they used to seal it, it's that. It's nice and sticky and it doesn't come off easy. So I'm just going to reinforce these creases. And I'm going to do it like so. Start on outside one, make your outside neatest bit. We're also then going to have to cover the spine with some maybe fabric, I don't know, I haven't decided. This really is a journal made on the fly. I've made it so that it doesn't overlap onto the front as much, so I don't have to lose so much of this pretty cover. And then I'll just come down to there. There we go. It didn't meet up perfectly, but the world is not going to end. And then I'm going to do the same on here. Well, that's just about covered the spine, hasn't it? if you wanted to, you could put more tape on and leave it fine brown. Anything's possible with junk journals. There really aren't any rules. And I've gone more towards... Well, I've always mixed my existing supplies with junk. But I've gone more towards new stuff than junk last year or so, I suppose. I think that's because I've bought things with a plan to use them, and then I've had there's a lot gone on last year, so I've not actually had as much time for making videos and junk journals as I would have liked. And I've ended up, every other video has been new stuff, and I've moved away from the junk. Right, so there we go. That's the cover. Doesn't have to be out fancy. And I've just used a piece of a diary. I mean, that could be, you could have used a cereal box, you could have used the folder itself, and then all you have to do, in fact, just let me take this front page out, you could have then matted that onto the front, and that could have been your cover. They really are that easy. And I want to have a lot more fun with my junk journaling this year. So that's that. I'm now thinking, I don't even think I'm going to need to reinforce that with anything else, you know, because I'm going to cover the outside with some lace or fabric. And yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put one more piece of this tape on. One more piece, just to make it a little bit sturdier. Whee. And if I put a bit of fabric on the inside and a bit of fabric on the outside, not even the angry baboons will be able to tear this apart if they come after our journal, will they? Yeah, I've not done a video without a plan for a while either. I mean, I knew I wanted to make a journal. I knew I wanted to make it from junk, and that's about all I know. I'm just going to bone fold all these edges as well. Make them stick down really good. I mean, this really isn't my... If you've been watching me, if you've started watching me recently, you might think, oh, that's not her style. But do you know what? When I first started making junk journals, this was my style. Because when you first discover junk journals, you run around your house, don't you? And you find all bits and bobs that you could put in them. So we've got that. So that is going to be so nice. But I'm going to have to make 2 more signatures. I'll make one with you, and then I'll do one off camera, so we've got 3. Because, yeah, might get a bit monotonous. So what we're going to use here, I've decided I'm not putting tea-dyed paper in because it's not a writing journal. I'm going to, I'll make 2 pages out of that again. I'll use that one. That's another cookbook page. That's that page. And I might go and dig out that Flower Fairy book. Oh, that's another cookbook page. I'll save that for my 3rd signature. I might dig out the Flower Fairy page, and we could have a flower fairy on the front of each. Oh, look at that. That's some lovely vintage ledger paper. Oh, that's a nice map page. Oh, I've got some... Yeah, I really do. I just fold pieces over and throw them in. So you're liable to find all sorts in here. What's that? Ooh. Do you know, I think that came from a photo album that I took apart. I've got a glassine bag. Or sometimes I'll start making a journal and I'll have too many pages and I take some out and then I throw them in here. That's far too big for what we're doing. So yeah, let's make a signature out of that. Oh, something just fell on the floor. I've no idea what. No idea what. So I want to make... I'm going to make 2 pages out of this piece of Amazon paper again. So I'm just going to wrap it around this one as a guide for the size I want. Oh, for that. I'm getting all giddy now. I get all giddy when I get into doing things. Yeah. I'm going to do it like that. And ruler, there you are. I could make a New Year's resolution that I'm not going to lose my craft tools while I'm crafting, but that would be laughable, wouldn't it? That's never going to happen with me. And we used 12 sheets in the last one. we'll see how many we've got here. So that's 1. That's 2. And 3. Like I say, no rhyme or reason as to what goes where. 4. Slightly bigger one. 5. Let's have a bag. 6. They don't have to be folded evenly. Did bag make 6? I think it did. Bitter vintage ledger page. 7. We need some more botanical pages. So I have... Let's get another one out. Whump. I've got a box here. This is just botanical pages. Yeah, that when I've gutted books, bits I've got left over. So we'll take another one out for next signature as well. So we've got to have a bit of botanical in. But I do intend a lot of my ephemera to be botanical. I'll be using a lot of book pages for ephemera, because they're just so pretty, and I've got so many. I've lost count. 6 foot bag, 7, 8. We've got that one, 9, 10. We'll make that 10. They don't have to be exact. Yeah, I'll leave that like that. And then I'm going to get another page from the Flower Fairy book to put over. So then that's a 10 signature one. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do this exactly same as the other, and I'll be back with you. I'm going to do the same with that one as well. And I'm back. 3 signatures nearly done. I've stolen one of those receipts from signature 1 because I only had a couple and I didn't want both of them in one signature. I've got a book page here. I really want to include it, but it's too tall. But I love this book because of the design. You can trim it down without it looking like it's been trimmed down, if that makes sense. I'm just going to trim this one. So this is really the only one I've messed with. Do you know what? Put paper trimmer away. I'm going to rip it. So I'm going to refold it with these outside. And I'm going to get the ruler and I'm going to rip. I'm having a ripping good time. I am sorry to all my Aussie subscribers. The only place I've ever heard that is on Australian soap operas. Sorry. So, there you go. Now, I hope you have all had lovely Christmas and New Year. I don't know if I've said that already. I could have. But, yeah, we just ended up having a longer break than usual. We got very lazy, getting up very late. Yeah, starting the day late, playing board games. Yeah, we love board games. We have a new one every Christmas. We must have got 6 different versions of Monopoly now. Oh, I like that. How that goes. But I want to see some little pages in front of it. So, there we go. And I've counts, I've lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's 9. Did I make 12 in the first one? I'm just feeling them now. That first one does feel quite a bit fatter than the other 2. So do you know what? I think I'm going to nick one page out of here. I'm going to nick the guest check. There you go. And put that in here as well. In fact, I'm going to put it there. So that's 3 signatures. And like I say, it's not rocket science. I've not messed too much. I could always reorder them. And I can't find that Flower Fairy book. I've had my youngest looking throughout the extensive collection, but I do have this other one I bought. Well, I've bought this one off eBay. It's Flower Fairy's birthday book. I very rarely come across really nice ones in charity shops, but I swoop on eBay when they're cheap. So yeah, I'm gonna start opening this book. That'll do. That Flower Fairy. Oh, it's quite a bit bigger than other. Oh well, I can trim it. I can rip it. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? The cover page has come off. I should have gone for the next signature. So yeah, if you've never made a junk journal before, or you're new to them, or they scare you, they're not scary. Do what you want. They're not scary. Yeah, sometimes I get scared by things and I don't know why. I put off finishing things. That's just a trait of mine. I don't know why I do it. So we've got a picture. Oh, that's so pretty. But I'm going to fold it round so we've got that on the front page. Then I'm going to go further into the book and get one. Oh, look at that. The beech nut fairy. That would be fabulous in an autumn journal. The Michaelmas fairy. Ooh. Oh, that's pretty. I love roses, so I'm going to go with the rose hip fairy. This is such a pretty book. But yeah, I have no qualms taking pretty books apart because I'm giving them new life. It will probably still go back on. I've got a section on my bookshelf with books that have got pages taken out. That is pretty. Right. So we now have, yeah, that's far bigger than that, isn't it? In fact, it's bigger than I really want on this journal. So I'm just going to rip it down. Most of it's going to get covered up. I want the quote on. So I'll just get my ruler that I've thrown to one side again. I'll do it that way. And I'm just going to rip it down there. I could make a fold over page, but it's not the kind of journal I'm making. I don't really want fold over pages because I'm just doing two at once. This book page is too thick. So I've got to do one at once. That's better. Yeah, like I say, it's not the kind of journal where I want to make too many pockets. I want to be able to see everything that I've made and put in it. I'll rip this one this way. And I'm just guesstimating. Whee! That's one. Hope it's not too tall. No, it's about the tallest page. It's covering all those up. Do you know what? I might end up swapping that out when I find that other book. So don't be too like, oh, that's a different one. No, do them one at a time, woman. You've decided already that that's too thick to rip. Yeah, I've not done enough creating on the fly lately. And that's how you come up with ideas, because I've just thought now, rather than, in fact, you know this, I'm going to fold the back page. I've said I don't want pockets, but I can live with one. There you go. I just can't be bothered to rip another. Look, you could make little notes down edge there. That's quite an idea. Yeah, an idea I've just come up with is, I could bind this with string or elastic or anything until it's finished, in case I want to add pages or take pages out or anything. I just really do want that one up front. Yeah, I need to find that book. I could keep those in further in the journal, but I want one of those. Yeah, I could bind it in with some kind of string or elastic and then swap them out. Could I? No, I couldn't do that because I've decided to make the cover smaller than the book pages. Had I not decided to make the cover smaller than the book pages, I could have just temporarily bound those in with string or elastic. Dilemma time. Do I continue with this cover? Yeah, because I've committed to it now. But I'm not going to have those fairies on the front page. I think my front pages now are going to be my botanical pages on this one. And I'll put the fairy page further in, because I really just do not want a big page on the front. Well, not too big a page. I want to be able to see all those other ones. Oh, that one just looks so good. And we'll put... I think I will keep the fairy one there. That one can be a botanical and that one can be a fairy. Yeah, stop faffing. I'm gone into faff mode, and that is where I'm going to have... It's going to be quite a chunky little journal, isn't it, that? Just with bits and bobs clipped in. I'm already beginning to think, have I put too many pages in? Let's have a look. Not really, because when you look at it, yeah. I'll measure the spine. The spine came out at 1 3/8 of an inch. Yeah. Yeah. Just do it. If I run out of room, I'll make another journal. It's that simple. Yeah. So let's sew these signatures in. 2 ticks while I get my bits and bobs. And I'm back. So I've grabbed my thread, I've grabbed my long needle, and I've just grabbed this tub with some scraps of fabric in. And I just want some scraps that will cover... yeah, I could just put that in, and then I could put something on the inside cover to cover the tape, or I could make it a little bit bigger. Ooh, that's a nice green piece. Ooh, that might just cover the tape. Yeah, there's a little bit poking out, but I'm not going to lose sleep over that. And then I could put lace on the outside. I don't know if I have any in this tub. I've micro-organised a lot of stuff in my craft room, so I don't have as many random tubs as I used to. Would that look good on the outside? No, because it's not going to be wide enough, is it? I think I'll put the outside on after, and then it will cover up the stitches in case they're not too neat, because I'm going to be very, yeah, I'm not going to be very precise. So that is actually a piece of linen that I painted green years ago. I'm going to go for it, stick it on. I want to use that. And I think I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Where are you, art glitter glue? It sticks everything. It does stick fabric. And I'm just going to, if I fold that backwards, just to see where the spine is. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to come out, do you? Let's poke you. Oh, I would say it's because I've not used it for a long time, but I've used it a lot. It's nearly empty. I filled it up not too long back, because like I say, I've been finishing those journals. It's not, I've not been in my craft room at all over Christmas, but I've been crafting and not thinking about having to film and whether it would make a good video. I've just been crafting. I think we need to sometimes. That's something I've not been doing enough of. I'm putting quite a bit on, and then I'm just going to smush it a little bit with my finger. I can always come back in and glue down edges. And I'm not too bothered that it's not glued onto these edges. I'll do that after. I just want it on so I can sew my signatures in. Fold that back. Then I can make sure I've got it pretty even. And you see, I just want an evenish amount on either side. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And then I'll press it down. Yeah, it's quite a thick piece of linen, this. And then I can trim that once it's glued. Yeah. Right. Sewing in my signatures. I've done this before. Before I started doing videos of making journals, this is how I quite often did my signatures. I didn't do too much measuring. I didn't do too much fussing. I would take my needle. Might as well put string on. I'm going to have 3 times the length of my shortest book page and cut it. That is what I'm going to use to sew each signature. I'll make a little bit more. So I'll cut that amount 3 times now. And then we've got it ready. And then I can put my string away. There's certain things I never lose in my craft room because I always put them back away. And they tend to be things that have cost more money and I've only bought once and only intend buying when I run out. Yeah. So I've got my 3 pieces. And this is another reason why I'm going to put the lace on the outside after I've bound it. Because then I don't have to worry about all my binding being perfect. Right. So let's look to the outside for now. And all I want to do is guesstimate where the middle is. As in the middle that way and the middle that way. It's about there. And I'm going to poke my needle through. I can put my needle through. See how sturdy that tape has made it? So all I've done is I've made 1 hole in the middle. There we go. And then I'm going to grab what's going to be my middle signature. And I'm going to pop that in. Looks good about there. Then I'm going to go to the centre. Oh, I've got brown paper in the centre. I don't want brown paper in the centre. I'm just going to swap those 2 over. I just don't want brown paper in the centre. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the middle. And I'm going to punch a hole through the centre of my signature. I mean, I did buy a brad awl eventually, but when I first started I just used my big chompy needle and did it like that. So that is my first signature and that is my first hole. And then for my next hole I'm just going to grab a pen, well, a pencil, and I'm going to look, and I'll do it about there. Yeah, just pull that through. Okay, Babs, we've got a delivery, 2 ticks. I'm back. I just had to sign for delivery. So where did we get to? Yes, I've got that hole there at the top in the middle, and I'm going to punch. Do you know what? I'm going to get my brad awl because it is easier. But like I say, when I first started, I just used a chompy needle. There we go. It's my plastic brad awl. I've got a wooden one somewhere. I think kids borrowed it. I haven't seen it for a while. And that's that hole there. I'm going to go through. Oh, don't let that come out of there, woman. Where's your middle gone? Where's your middle gone? Don't lose your thread. If you think you might lose your thread, what you can do is put a clip on it or just tie a temporary knot in it. I have neither to hand. Well, I could tie a knot, but that'd be too much like our work. So then I'm going to go back into that signature there. There we go. So the next thing I've got to do is come out roughly there. So I'll go back to my centre. I'm not going through that hole, I'm going to bypass that and I'm going to go about there. That looks about right. So I'm going to go through the journal first and then I'm going to go through here. Right, you can get a ruler mark it if you want to, or you can just guesstimate it like I'm about to. And it's about there. If you're not happy, you can do it again. That looks about right to me. And that's my first signature almost in. Then I'm going to go back through this centre hole. I find this the hardest part, you know, getting back through without going through thread. I tend to pull thread to one side and go that side of it. I often do my cover separate to my pages. If you've been working on a journal for yonks and it's all fully decorated, I wouldn't sew my signatures in like this. But for a blank junky journal that I've not done anything to yet, then I'm not messing about too much. I've got my thread then, one on either side of that centre bit, pull it tight, and I'm going to knot it. I'll just get that bit through. So I've just basically eyeballed it. I've got far more thread than I need, but I always do that. I'm a better safe than sorry kind of person. I'll cut that off there and I'll tie a bow. There we go. So now I've got my centre signature in. Yeah, it's roughly in the centre. It's as near its centre as it needs to be. It's roughly straight. And then for my other two signatures, I'm going to put my holes in the edge first. So, let's do it from this side. So I'm going to go in halfway between that hole and my crease. Put your book to that side before you do that, woman. Halfway again. Only reason I didn't do this straight away is in case my first signature went wrong. And halfway again. Making sure my pages are over on that side. See, that's not perfectly straight, but it's a junky journal. And then I'm just going to make these holes bigger. Carefully fingers on the other side. Oh, I've not done my middle hole, have I? Silly woman. That one's roughly on the edge of that bit of tape. Of course, the tape might not have been straight. Yeah, it really does make for a nice sturdy spine, this tape. There we go. And then my other two signatures, that's the one I want first. Now I'm going to mark where I want my holes on this outside page. So just line that up with that. Then can you see that hole? Put that mark there, that mark there, and that mark there. And then I open the whole thing up. You might want to pin it. I personally don't pin it because I always end up getting something wonky. So they're all nice and taut. And then I'm going to poke my holes through from this side where those marks are. Just make sure they've gone all the way through. They have. They have. And then before I do much else, I get my needle in there. Oh, I was going to say, get your needle in there before your pages move. And then my pages went and moved. So that weren't good, were it? So, just go back through your rows. I had a comment on a video recently where I didn't do this perfect first time. Someone said it made them feel better that even mine don't go perfect first time. They don't, but I don't lose any sleep over it anyway if they don't. Do you know I don't know which is right? Oh no. You know. It's going to be that one. It's going to be that one. Let me just check. Mark or E. Is it? No, it's actually that one. There we go. Oh, you haven't got any string on it, woman. You know, string on it. There you go. Now thread your string on. This is junk. This is book binding for dummies. This by dummies. No, it's book binding by dummies. There we go. So, put it right way around now. Because it goes to the front. So we're going in that hole. Now we've got a string on. It's another reason I like a long piece of string, then you don't pull your string out too far. In the bottom hole. Then through all those. And we're going through a lot of them separate, but we're not too bothered. Do you know what? I'm going to start that one again because I do honestly think that I got my centre hole on the cover bit wrong. Right, I'm back. I'm sorry I paused there. So, I had, do you know, like that cover piece, I wasn't sure if it was the hole from the actual book binding or the one I'd made. I chose the wrong one first time, so I've just rethreaded that using the correct hole. So, we'll try that again. So that goes in there. And then, I don't know if we went through bottom or top last time, it doesn't matter. That's better. No, it's all lines up. Yay. But I'm still going through one at a time. Because I often do. I'd rather do this than pin it with paper clips and then it just goes wonky for me. That works fabulously for some people. Just never seems to work for me. Where did it all end up in that? Right, let's just pull everything taut. There you go. Then you can see where your holes are better. There you go. Sounds like someone's feeding cat downstairs. I just heard food rattling. Yeah, thank you for everyone who commented on my community post yesterday. Yes, Nala still has her Christmas collar on. I can't believe it. If you've not seen it, we've got her this huge Christmas collar, with this Christmas collar with an absolutely huge bow. Oops. No, with that one. I'm just going to pull my thread through that, rethread it. I've made this look like the most difficult way to bind a journal ever, and do you know why? Because I'm pigging talking. But you like me talking. When I'm not talking, it don't go wrong, honest. Honest, it don't. I'll just go for it. Right, there we go. So that's that bit. We're going to miss that one out again, and we're going to go through the bottom. There you go. And through that hole. And then back in through that. Oh, that one's looking good today. Can we go all the way through? Yeah, we did. Hey. I just want one of these either side of the centre. I'm just good because I've got one string far longer than other. Oh, it's still long enough. Just tie it, woman. Make sure you've got no loops. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's where I look to see if I've got no loops. Tie it. Now let's hope this third one goes a little bit better for me. That all went wrong when I picked that wrong hole. So I'm just going to make my marks a little bit bigger this time. On this third one. Right, so we've got 2 signatures in. They're looking good. Yeah, and then we're just now going to put that last signature in there. And I'm going to do it the same method. I don't know if I put pencil on that or if it were already on. I just make sure my pieces of paper are roughly in the middle. There we go. Now this time I'm going to put a slightly bigger mark on. That's it. Can you see there's a hole there? And my hole is in a very similar place that I'm making. I'm just checking. Yep. So there, and not there. Why have I just did it on that hole? Silly woman. There. So I've done 3 marks opposite where the holes are. I will also remember to thread the thread in my needle this time. So just ignore that last one. In fact, don't. It went wrong. I put it right. That'll part at plan for today, let's say. So let's get to the middle page again. And that looks about right. Go through from there. Move your cover out of the way, woman. Yeah. That's what I did last time, isn't it? Wee. Use your brado. Just going to wiggle it to make the hole a little bit bigger. Wee. And then I'm going to get my needle with thread on. And you know, this time I'm going to go through the top hole. And I'm going to come back through that hole. There you go. Then I'm going to bring it back to the book. And that's going in the centre. So just, yeah, see, I've just come up with another idea there. Just threading it through that top hole first has helped keep them all lined up. So I'm going to go back in the bottom hole. Come back. There you go. Back in bottom hole. Find the middle again. And I'm going to go in there. I can see the mark better this time. There we go. That went a lot easier because I put bigger marks in and I came out through there first. I just kept all my holes lined up. Whee. Don't make that too short, woman. And then I'm going to go back in that top hole, missing that one out altogether. Through all my pages. And out the cover. Then I'm going to go in. There we go. In that middle hole. Let's see if it'll go through as easy as it did on last one. Yay! That was surprising. That's the bit I normally struggle on, and that went okay. So yeah, you saw me muck a signature up and put it right. I hope that helps you if you muck yours up. But also, you don't have to be scared. The world is not going to end. And somehow, I don't know how I've made that one higher. I'll tell you why. Because it matches at the top and it's just a little bit higher at the bottom. But, do you know, because it's this style of journal, it don't matter, does it? So I'm going to knock those off. Like I said, don't do this. Don't bind it this way on your best journal that you've been working on for months. If you're doing a scrappy journal like this, yeah, do it. So we now have a journal. Do you know what? I think I'm going to leave that fabric a little bit longer. Yeah, can you see what's happened there? My front signature is quite a lot bigger. Yeah, I should have spread those out a little bit. But I can always put a tip in, which is an extra page afterwards that comes down to that height. Right, I want to find some lace now to put on the outside. Can you see? That's not too bad, that, is it? Yeah, that's straight enough. 2 ticks. And I'm back. So I've got a thin piece of lace and I've got a bit of muslin fabric. And I'm going to put a bit of muslin fabric on and the lace. I don't want to have a really thick, chunky bits of lace. So yeah, I'm going to use this. So I'm just going to rip this and make it slightly wider than what the tape is. I don't want loads of it coming over onto the book covers. Whee. I don't think I've ever done one this messy on video before. Yeah. That'll do. If those creases bother you, iron them. I'm going to live with them. Or hair straightener, use your hair straighteners. Oh, do you know what? No, I can't be bothered to get them out. So that theme ain't altered this year, can't be bothered. So I'm just going to put some glue on now. I'm going to cover the area of the brown tape and just one line on each side onto the book. So I've got my art glitter glue. I do have a second. I'll use this one because it's got more in and it might come out easier. Watch it not come out at all. No, comes out a lot easier. Again, I'm going to gloop it on. And then I'll smooth it out a little bit with my finger. Then I'm just going to put one bead down there after I've smoothed it out. I use what glue of choice. I know a lot of people use that Fabri-Tac. I say this all the time, but it doesn't agree with me. It's good glue, it's brilliant, works like a charm. But in my teeny tiny craft room in winter without window open, I can't breathe when I've used it. Right, so that's that. Like I say, I'm just going to put one thin bead now just down the actual book cover. I'll turn it round because I can't do that unless I've got my arm resting. Whee. And then I'm just going to put this on. I don't think there is a right and a wrong way. And before I put it down, or I pat it down too, I'm going to look how much I've got on either side. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to open it back up now. I'm trying not to get any glue off my fingers anywhere. I don't want it. Open it up in the middle, but woman, it'll be a bit easier, like, you know what I mean? And there we go. And then I'm going to pop this on just to make it look a little bit fancier down edge. No reason other than that. Got that smidgen longer than I want. And I'm just going to put another line of glue. I'll put it just slightly off book edge, down middle. And because I can see the wide tape and where the edges of the fabric is, that's how I'm guesstimating where the middle is. Whee. Once it's stuck, you can always come under edge again with some more glue. That line is the wonkiest line I ever have seen. I always have a look, see which side at least looks best if there is a difference, but there isn't always a difference. And I'm going to do that. I couldn't have got it on from scratch like this, that's why I'm just doing this after. Just to make sure it's straight-ish. There we go. Straight-ish. That is nearly done. I'm just gonna, I would normally wait until everything were completely dry to trim it, but things to do, place to go, people to see. I'm gonna trim that little bit there. Trim that the same length now. I'm going to let the green go a little bit longer, because the green has been glued longer. I'm going to rip it. There you go. If I tried to rip that one now, it'd just fray it too badly. And then the bottom sort of matches the top, doesn't it? And I'll just trim that to match that. I can pull a few of these threads out before this glue dries. If I can get bottom threads, that is. There we go. And it will look tatty like the top. There you go. Looks like that's as tatty as we're getting that. And that, do you know, I'm pretty happy with that. To say I didn't intend doing a 3 signature journal. Do you know what I'm going to do though? You see that piece of paper there? I've got that one piece that's coming out far higher than anything else, and it's just spoiling the line of my journal. So I'm going to cut it off. It's just that one and that signature, isn't it? Use your long scissors, woman. I'm going to cut it slightly lower down than the page in front, so you won't have this big wonky page staring at you. So if you do this and some of your pages think, oh, that one slipped and it's too big, cut it off. Let's just rip that round. There you go. Then I can see where to cut to. There we go. I'm much happier with that now. Yeah. All my bottoms line up better. My tops So all my tops line up better, my bottoms line up, apart from this one last signature, because I've not put any pages in that are as long, have I? So let's quickly fix that in case it's going to bother you. Well, it's going to bother me, isn't it? So I'm going to get a pretty sturdy piece of paper. Let's grab a sturdy book page. Let's go to my book page box. Oh, I'll get a nice pretty one as well. There we go. And what I think I'll do with this, I'll do it more than once. I'll do more than one page like this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to affix that to a page. I think I'm going to use that because I don't like the bright white on the back of everything. And I want it to come lower down. So I'll just fix that to the back of that. And then when you look at the book from the outside, can you see it all lines up quite nicely. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm obviously going to do more work to it. I'll put something on the inside of the cover. I may put something on the front that says journal. I may put a label on. In fact, let's get some bits out and just quickly do that, because we're on about an hour, but we can go a little bit longer. 2 ticks. And I'm back. Right, I've got something that I haven't used for absolutely ages. I have a little pocket of journal words and phrases. A lot of them are what I've just done on a computer and printed out. And I have some that I did quite a while back. I just printed out the word journal. I've got a few here, and sewed around the edges. Yeah, so if you've got nice writing, you could write journal. You don't have to sew around the edge, but I just like the look of it. And yeah, I just can't decide which one to use. And I think I'm going to do that one. I just like how it's different colours at both ends. And it's already cut out, isn't it? Now, ink it if you want to ink it, don't ink it. I've not done any inking today, but I really like that. Do I want to put it there, though? Oh, I like that yellow flower. I'm going to put it here. Yeah, because that I'm not losing. Is one of those smaller? No, they're all exactly the same size. I could, if I rip that a little bit nearer my stitching. In fact, I've got some of my edge stitchings hanging out now, but you know what? I like it. Yeah, I'm going to take a bit more paper off from these edges, because I don't want to cover up too much of that flower. Yeah, that's better. I quite like it with that paper ripped off, actually. As long as I make sure I glue it on, it's not gonna come unstitched. I just did, I don't know, perhaps 4 or 5 rows of messy stitching around the word journal. And I thought I'll use them at some point in the future. Well, that day has come. And that's what this month's all going to be about. I'm going to use up all that stuff I've made. Whee. You know, like I've made clusters. I've made tickets. I've got bits here, I've got bits there. And anything I do make to go along with them is going to be made from stuff I've already got. Whee. I'm not going to make any promises about how many journals I'm going to make this year. But I really need to get if I can make one in an hour like this, I need to get my finger out, don't I? Yeah, I think that does need inking. I know I've not inked anything else. I think we just need a bit of ink on the edge of that to make it stand out a little bit more. Now, you don't have to put the word journal. It could be diary. You can put any word you want. Yeah, I really like that. I'm not going to ink the cover. No, I'm not. I might do later, but I'm not going to do now. And Do you know, so that don't go wonky, I think I'm going to stick it on with some tape. Ooh, glue dots, look. Haha, glue dots. When have you ever seen me use glue dots? Never, probably. It's from my card making days. Watch these glue dots not even work, and I've gone sticking them all on back now. We're going to need one more dot there, aren't we? They're just little dots of adhesive on a roll. There we go. These glue dots are probably that old, they're not going to work. They're not going to work. Grab your bone folder, woman. Don't grab that one you lost, get a new one out. They're probably too old to use. Yeah. They're not coming off backing, are they? They're for bin. Now that is a... that's a good reason. Oh, one worked. One. Yay. Don't hoard your craft supplies so long that they stop working. Buy glue dots. And do you know what? I'm not going to buy any more because look at this. I've got glue. I think this card's thick enough not to wrinkle. I'll put a little bit round where the stitching is. You could back it onto something else as well if you wanted. But I'm being very haphazard today, aren't I? It's a haphazard day. I'm just going to have a look if the actual... oh, that moved. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. I'm just going to do that. Make sure it's stuck on. They've stuck, look, they've stuck to my bone folder. Not very well though, have they? They should come off easier than that. They've welded to that backing. I've no idea what brand they were, where I got them from, but they're probably a good, at least 10-year-old. So there's not much wonder they don't work, is there really? Oh, I like that. Yeah, I'll decide again if I want to cut those down, but at the minute I like how they are protecting my edges. And like I said, that I will attach that. You can attach it by just a little bit of washi tape between that page and that, but I'm thinking I might do it by making some kind of pocket there. Yes, you'll see that in another video, but that's how I'm going to, yeah, make up for that signature being lower. I think I'll perhaps need another one near front at signature as well, but that doesn't bother me too much. We've got a journal, it works, it's got loads of pages, and I can clip in all the ephemera that I'm going to be making with the stuff that I've already got through January into it. I hope you enjoyed that. I even hope you enjoyed the bit where it went wrong. Because we did pretty right, didn't we? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.